Yes, Merry Christmas. It's 24th December 2017, Christmas Eve this year. A very good evening to you watching UBC TV and welcome to our news tonight. It's me, Michael Jordan Lukoma, with Elizabeth Nakakoni and a very big team here to give you news tonight. In our first story, President Museveni has visited 4 Tanzanian MONUSCO soldiers currently admitted in Nakasero Hospital, Kampala, who suffered injuries over 2 weeks ago in an attack by militants in the neighboring Democratic Republic of Congo. 14 soldiers died and 50 were wounded in the attack that took place in the North Kivu region of the DRC on the 8th December 2017. President Museveni, who was received at Nakasero Hospital by the Tanzanian High Commission's First Secretary, Brigadier Genes Kilda Makona, expressed his sympathy to the 4 casualties who are admitted at the hospital. He condemned the barbaric acts of the attack. The medical personnel at the hospital assured the president that the patients are out of danger and that they will soon be all right. Brigadier General Makona thanked President Museveni for supporting the peacekeepers and for visiting them at the hospital. Pentecostal clerics in Kampala have urged Ugandans to embrace Christ as the entire world celebrates his birth this season. Stephen Sebyala of Christ Church Chitintale says that Christmas is all about the birth of Christ, and Pastor Solomon Mwesige of Good News Church Bulenga affirms that Christ is indeed the reason for this season.
It is only a few hours to the evergreen and ecstatic celebration of Jesus Christ's birth, dubbed Christmas. Churches, street corners, and entertainment places are all set for the festival. Ironically, at most Christmas parties, the person whose birthday is under celebration is completely ignored. Pastor Solomon Mwesige of Good News Church Bulenga says all Ugandans have to remember that Jesus is the reason for the season.
The birth of Jesus bridges the gap between us and God, and that is the reason of the celebration. It is Christ, the reason of the season, not Santa, not all these other things that you hear, come, it is happening here, it is happening there. The reason for the season is Jesus.
This means the reason for his coming to save humanity from sin and its punishment has to be observed. Pastor Stephen Sebyala of Christ Church Chitintale urges Ugandans to accept Christ in their life.
All he wants is your heart. If you give him your heart, your life will be good, and you get the meaning of life. So Christmas is about celebrating the coming of Jesus to save us from our sins. I pray you let him save you from your sins. Christmas is not about eating good and dressing good and having a party. It's about Jesus coming in your heart. I pray this Christmas, Jesus will not be celebrated outside your heart, but he will be celebrated inside your heart.
This season is often marked with inflated partying, characterized with entertainment, food, drinks, and exchange of gifts. These will climax with the ushering in of the new year that promises a new dawn for all believers.
We have a prayer bridge here, which is bridging between 2017 and crossing into 2018. The preparations are ready, and I pray that 2018 becomes a year of breakthrough. I'm praying that unemployment comes to 0.
I pray 2018 be a year for hard working, progressing. My prayer for you is that if you've been having a bicycle, 2018 you'll get a motorbike. If you had a motorbike, 2018, get a house, a car.
Samuel Galandi, UBC News.
Former Minister for Tourism, Trade and Industry, Professor Edward Mwanafunzi, has expressed concern over insufficient budget allocated to government agencies that carry out research. Mwanafunzi was speaking at a dissemination of a report on the behavior of chimpanzees, monkeys and weaverbirds at Makerere University Biological Field Station in Kibale District.
Former Minister for Tourism, Trade and Industry Professor Edward Mwanafunzi wants government to increase budgetary support to government agencies, including research hubs.
You know, research in Uganda is still underfunded. And if universities cannot produce new knowledge, then we are teaching, imparting very old knowledge, which old knowledge cannot address our new and emerging challenges.
The director, Makerere University Biological Field Station, David Tumusime, says the underfunding of research organization has jeopardized the performance of their institutions, leading to the enrolling of few students annually.
We have students from Makerere University who are here. They would have loved to be here longer, but they can't. They're only going to be here with us for only 3 days. And as you have seen, there's a lot of research work that we're doing here. There's a lot that they would really wish to participate in, but they don't have the funding to keep them in the field for long.
Dr. Caroline Asimwe, a conservation coordinator at Budongo Forest, says they are grappling with the limited funds for capacity building and research.
So we would employ more people. Many people who are bordering these forest reserves will somehow benefit from conservation. They will be employed in there, but also we would attract more researchers if we had funds.
The Undersecretary at the Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation, Emmanuel Mugunga, says the ministry has established a department that will undertake the proposals of promoting research in the country.
We've got various departments now. There is a department which will have to do with what? With research under the Directorate of Regulation and Research. And that department, you will find that it will come up with the necessary proposals to see how far we can take research. The interest at the ministry right now is to move from the idea to the what? To the market. Now, that is what you had me talking about, the socio-economic impact of what? Of research.
Scientists converged at Makerere University Biological Field Station in Kivale district, where the symposium on the behaviors of chimpanzee, weaverbirds and monkeys was disseminated. Samuel Garandi and Joseph Okow, UBC News.
It's over 10 years now since government established the universal secondary education and 20 years since universal primary education was established across the country. But food shortage for learners and teachers has been witnessed, and government has encouraged schools to own school gardens in order to solve the challenge.
Since government, through the Ministry of Education, established universal primary education and universal secondary education, the number of learners completing Senior 6 has improved. Therefore, in the efforts to support government to improve the education sector in the country, stakeholders in private schools are being asked to establish school gardens to address the food challenge. The director, St. Mary's High School, Mokoko, Beatrice Simbalire, says the school has over 50 acres of land where they farm matoke, yams, cassava, maize, among others.
The president's advice of fetching water and putting in these mineral water bottles, I'm very, very sure it can work because we used it during this dry spell. We collected water. We have 10 workers on this farm. They help us fetch water. You can see even one is there fetching water. And we put in those containers, we started getting these bananas. That's why you see, even during the dry spell, our banana has been looking so good, and we have not cried of any hunger.
They also rear goats, sheep, and keep poultry. She has encouraged the government-aided schools to utilize the available land by engaging in various agricultural activities which can be used to feed the learners, and this will fight the challenges of students staying at school hungry.
And the students for changing the diet, and we grow many other things like cabbages and tomatoes for feeding the school. So my appeal to government also is maybe if they could extend the newly introduced irrigation system to the people, maybe at the district, where it can easily be accessible.
Imbalire thanked government for the conducive environment which has enabled investors in education to establish as many schools as possible, which is aimed at reducing the levels of illiteracy among Ugandans. Samuel Galandi and Frederick Salongo Kasivante, UBC News.
Good ideas there. And with that story, we are taking a very short break. News tonight will return with more. Do not miss. Yes, welcome back from the break. You're watching News Tonight, UBC TV Inspiring Uganda. Persons hailing from Rukunjiri, residents in Kampala and other urban areas have pledged to boost development and social services where they come from. This was during the launch of Rukunjiri Development Association in Kampala and also addressed by Security Minister Lieutenant General Henry Tumukunde, Presidential Advisor on Kigezi Affairs and other senior leaders from the Rukunjiri. Members were advised against politicizing the association.
The mission and the strategy of the organization, then you're able to move forward.
When we started the Nyaka Foundation, we have a school in Kambuga, a primary school, and a vocational school. We have a primary school in Kafunjo, in Nyachenyi. Can you imagine the politicians were fighting the school in Nyachenyi? Because they had been brought there by MON. Yeah. That's why I decided to say, you people lead the organization. I accepted to be chancellor of Kabale University. There were people who were killing it. Members of our community, because they wanted the money from other institutions. So I said I will get involved and fight them. And they are defeated. I cannot. International Committee of Banyakigezi. I fear for it. It's dead. Because I see partisan politics taking over.
Now the Development Association has come up. Praise God.
Yeah. Okay. I advise that we really, for now, help this to start. Put in every effort possible. As you can see me doing, people think because I want to stand in three constituencies. I wish I could do 3 places at the same time. But let's time will tell that our mission is to see if I left the university there and I left the functioning hospital, even if they wrote and said it was by initiative. And we are not getting any younger. We've been at this for some time. It's time to give to the public. The great Roman pronunciation, Roma nakuta cosa finita. When Rome speaks, the debate starts.
Have good, well-documented ideas. We just need to pray to God, strengthen the members of RDA, and to gift us with years such as we are going to support RDA, because when we support the people in the grassroots, I know RDA, our dream of having universities, having good hospitals will be realized.
Yes, those are residents of Kampala from Rukunjiri. National Animal Genetic Resource Center and Data Bank is to set up regional centers across the country to increase and improve artificial insemination services. The gesture will be rolled out at government ranches before spreading to other private entities. The center's executive director, Dr. Charles Lagu, says that a policy has been finalized to enable provision of breeding to overcome food insecurity and increase beef production.
From January up to December, you have been working very hard to make sure that NAGRIC, with its mandate, of guiding quality breeding programs in the country are running. So everybody gives support. Everybody makes sure that systems are running so that the country is moving in a direction for food security. Food security, income security, household welfare, household transformation, and so forth and so forth. So we want to thank you very much sincerely, our staff.
Minister for Public Service Mururi Mukasa has assured public servants of salary enhancement with the start of next financial year. Mururi Mukasa was launching the campaign to transform Senyomo LC1 in Luwero District as the North American Model Village in Kichusa Sub-County, Luwero District, with the support of the Seninde Foundation.
Public servants have a reason to smile following assurance by Public Service Minister of government commitment to increase their salaries come next year. The Minister for Public Service, Mururi Mukasa, says the ministry is engaged in a salary enhancement exercise for public servants, including primary school teachers, science teachers, soldiers, prison service, scientists, and health workers.
Teachers at secondary school level, soldiers from private to sergeant level, policemen from private to sergeant level, prison warders from prison warder to sergeant level, and the intelligence service as well, the lowest level. We also would like to consider all scientists, all the scientists, and the doctors, the health workers, all of them. We shall also consider the local government leaders.
Mururi Mukasa was launching a campaign aimed at transforming Senyomo Village, Luwero District. The minister donated to the initiative aimed at transforming the LOC1 intermodal village and encouraged communities in the area to engage in projects like beekeeping for poverty alleviation. At the launching of the campaign, Seninde Foundation, led by Jenny Namaiga Seninde, a woman football player in London, donated 10 million shillings, sugar, soap, rice, among others, to the community as a Christmas package.
Give out a few goods for Christmas, but also to show that we can be able to give with the Seninde Foundation, and just to them and the girls and the women and the men that the importance of sports health in the community.
The Secretary for Production, Senyomo LOC1, Zephania Kiza Seninde, explains their efforts through Seninde Foundation to transform Senyomo LOC1 intermodal village not only in Luwero but also throughout the country.
The low position in development, there is no any low position. We can serve at any level as long as we are sharing the responsibility of uplifting the living of our people.
Samuel Galandi and Frederick Salongo Kasivante, UBC News.
Fashion evolves over time depending on the area, interest, and category of individuals involved. For items like earrings, necklaces, and bangles, plus watches, women, young people, and the well-to-do, fashion is to the do. I beg your pardon, fashion is the do. In Uganda, fashion takes different dimensions depending on personality and accessory. UBC's Kimono Doka stresses the question whether it is still making any sense to wear a watch and carry a phone which serves the main purpose of telling time.
Life is made up of time, and any waste of time means waste of opportunity, and this introduces the idea of keeping time, thus the birth of the gadget, the watch. The first watch appeared in the world in the 16th century. A watch is a mechanical device powered by winding a mainspring which turns gears that keeps time via a rotating balancing wheel. Another account of the origin of the word watch came from the English word watch, which meant watchman because it was used by town watchmen to keep track of their shifts. But in Uganda, watches first appeared during the colonial times, and in the early 1980s till early 2000, the name Chakwa General Enterprises represented quality and durable watches. The idea was to keep time over time. 75-year-old Damal Nalwanga of Chakwa General Enterprises is a renowned seller of quality hand watches and clocks in Kampala. She was true to her clients and sold standard products.
Basoko kuleta amasaawa ne muduuka lino erya Chakwa abasinigo bwe batasooka okutandikiramu okutundiramu amasaawa. Kakati awo abasinigo nabo gundi yaabwe neggwako naffe Bannayuganda tutandika okuleeta amasaawa.
In fashion, individuals look for beauty and being presentable.
Essaawa bye bimu ku muntu enkya omuntu byakeera okwambala nga bw'oyambala ekiteeteeyi n'essaawa erina okubeera ku mukono.
This is the reason why women, youth and the well-to-do wear a collection of ornaments. But for timekeeping, there are accessories like cell phones, watches, earrings, necklaces and bangles which could serve their purpose interchangeably. In business, this clutter has affected Nalwanga's business. The number of clients wearing wristwatches has declined, with fewer people still appreciating quality products.
Ziri ezedda z'olisi ezo tezikyalabika ne bwebajja eri ebya bbeeyi nnene. Kakati baleetayo ebika ebirala ebyanguwa kakati bye biri ku market.
City dwellers have evidence that having both a phone and a watch depends on an individual.
Sokusanga omusajja ayambadde suuti ajje essimu mu nsawo mbakebera essaawa no olina kutunda ku ssaawa yo bwoti ku mukono anti ssaawa ziri mukaaga n'eddakiika 20 then what wade olina program gyadde oteeseteese you move on with that program oba n'okola ekirala oba nolati no oyanguya kutubadde okola okutwa ku kintu ekirala naye nga ye essaawa ey'oku mukono ekyali ya mugaso nnyo y'amakulu nnyo omuntu kukiteeka ku mukono than essaawa y'okusimu.
Sikyalina nsonga lwaki nnyambala essaawa kubanga essimu ze tulina ziriko amasaawa kati sisobola kwonoona ssente ngula essaawa okusimu kuliko essaawa kyekyo nnyo.
Very easy for me to look at my hand. At times my phone is in my bag, so it's very easy for me to grab my watch and just look at the time.
Mulema Sulaiman, a technician since 1990, has been specializing in repairing watches. On the other hand, it seems cheap watches on the market have affected Mulema's job. It is easier to replace by buying a new watch than repair.
Mulimu essaawa ezalayisi, mulimu essaawa y'olijja alowooza nti okozesa empya, okozesa enkadde ate aguza empya asinga. Kati ekyo ne kibeera nga kikendeeza ki emirimu. N'ekirala okubeera nti kati amasimu mangi, buli muntu yenna alina essimu, ate buli ku ssimu kuliko essaawa. N'ekyo nakyo kikendeeza okubeera emirimu gyaffe nga gikendeera.
I walk through the downtown of Kampala and other urban areas. There are many other outlets dealing in watches and other accessories, though here, quality is not a priority.
Buli wamu w'oyita wano waliwo amasaawa. Otambula just okuva wano ne wali osanga amasaawa, wano ne wali osanga amasaawa, so tebikyatambula bulungi. So olwekyo essaawa twazakamu ku bbeeyi okujjako ng'oleese ku mutindo.
Ennaku tezenkana. Oyinza otunda essaawa olumu n'olunda essaawa nga 2, olumu n'olunda essaawa nga 25 ne 10. Tobola tebyenkana nti oba buli lunaku ninatunda bwe ziti.
Ugandans seemingly look to be mindful of their time, though there are allegations to the contrary. Call it fashion or not, but the truth is that with the current trends in fashion, more Ugandans appreciate wearing watches. And with the presence of clock towers almost on every road driving out of the city, in Uganda, time remains a valuable resource. Dorcas Kimono, UBC News.
Yes, welcome to Sports News Tonight. As 2017 comes to an end, business is booming in downtown Kampala as preparations for Christmas festivities go on. However, this is not the same for people dealing in sports items, as demand is totally low since most sports activities have been put on hold for athletes to spare time and celebrate with their loved ones during the festive season. Helen Gizamba has this.
The sports business fraternity has lost hope of reaping financial benefits during this festive season, since most sports federations have ended their first round of the year, which is affecting sports sales. Katuma Sports Center Public Relations Officer Faizo Karunji says there are fewer customers than anticipated, since people concentrate more on other items like food and clothing, among others.
It's not our season as sports, but still, we have to be in business and go with the season. Yeah. Comparing to other areas, like those people who are in markets selling foodstuffs, for them they are too busy. But our area, we are a little bit slow.
Karunji says the business venture has not been profitable as he had hoped, though taxes have to be paid.
I think for that area, taxes, we have nothing to do with that. We have to go by the rules and pay the taxes to remain in the business.
Even though prices of boots, swimming costumes, rugby, soccer balls and gym equipment have been lowered, sportsmen and women have not turned up to buy the items. For UBC, Helen Barbara, Gizamba.
Federation of Uganda Basketball Association, FUBA, has confirmed that the 2017 Men's Basketball League Best of 7 playoff final will start on the 5th of January 2018. For the second year in a row, the league final was carried on because finalist City Oilers had African continental engagements. FUBA official Nakasero says that contrary to what many think, the league climax couldn't come earlier due to earlier national team engagements that led to postponement of many games during the regular season. He adds that even when they hurried fixtures, it was ever going to be difficult completing the season on time to allow City Oilers travel to play at the Africa Club Championships in Tunisia, where they finished 5th. City Oilers plays Kampala International University Titans, that's contesting its first ever final, having ejected Pemba Warriors in an epic semi-final clash. Yes, that's how we come to end of news tonight as we prepare to have Jesus Christ with us tomorrow. I would have to send some greetings here to my worker mate here, Elizabeth Nakakoni, our chief news editor, our manager, my editors, Deo, Francisco, Nalongo, and everyone. My co-anchors here, Rhoda Ngozi, Edward Kijanangoma, Simon Mujisha, and everyone. Our technicians, our engineers, everyone that makes sure that we are on air and having good work. To whoever watches us, Merry Christmas. And in a special way, to you, our viewer, thank you so much. You are, we are because you are. Thank you so much for watching UBC TV, and we promise to give you more tomorrow, starting with the Mass at Rubaga Cathedral, where I will be myself with the whole team. That way, with Elizabeth Nakakoni and myself, Michael Jordan Lukomwa, we wish you a very, very beautiful Christmas tomorrow and the year 2018. Good night. Catch you later.